I'm all for you getting theologically trained. I'm all for people growing in the wisdom of the Lord. I'm all for people becoming more solid in their theology and their doctrine and their teaching. I think all those things are super important. However, what happens when someone gets equipped in these things and then all of a sudden they don't put to use the very degree that they spent tens or perhaps hundreds of thousands to get? Is this indicative of a cultural issue within church of pushing more and more education towards theology when in reality there's just not that much demand out there for folks with this set of expertise? Is this better suited outside of a local church context, like perhaps building an online ministry, becoming an author? This is what we're going to be discussing today. This was sent by my guy, Ray Rock, and this gentleman here is extremely smart, extremely educated, and unfortunately is not using his degree. Okay, so he is a bartender, and play this video for us. No, don't play the sound because it's copyrighted music. Did I use my degree right? Christian Academy, high honors, most outstanding student award. This went crazy viral, has 500,000 views on Instagram. Go ahead.
That's crazy. Bachelor's in theology, master's in divinity, bartender. Oh, man. Wow. Christian Academy, bachelor's in theology, master's in divinity.
He's a bartender.
No.
This gentleman, great student, crushed it, got good grades, and unfortunately, he's like doing a New York City nightlife thing. He's out here, he's a bartender, he's hanging out with people, and he got all these degrees. Reminds me of the Kanye West college dropout albums. I got degrees upon degrees and more degrees, and he's not putting it to use. Okay, so is this an issue of poor foresight, poor planning, or that he just gets sucked into a system that pushed all these degrees on him and he just kind of went with the flow, and then before he knew it, he woke up, he's in his mid-20s, got all these degrees, and there's no utility to them?
I mean, the only reason I would go with poor foresight for this is this dude got a master's in divinity. Like, that's not necessarily your traditional college trajectory. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna become a pastor, but I guess he did go to Christian school, so that makes it a little bit more indoctrination nation. Yeah.
So someone responded to this and said, "OMG, pastor to bartender pipeline should be studied."
Should we listen to us?
Yeah, play this.
Blew up. I had no idea that I was gonna do like that big. So I guess I might as well address some things.
Is he drop shipping now? Because he's giving me major drop shipper energy.
Not his Instagram's not that
He's
big.
like, I'm on vacation.
In the comments, did I stop being a Christian? No, I didn't stop being a Christian. I still believe in God wholeheartedly. Made me stop. I mean, number one, like, being a pastor, you think it's going to be an easy job, but it's one of the most difficult jobs there are. It's one of the most stress-inducing. This was reality for me. It was that I was working every day. I'm on the clock 24/7, and then I have to spend every weekend with people that either I don't like or people that hate me. It's like,
yo,
that's funny. He's at people I don't like or people that hate me.
Wow. This dude is he's keeping it way too real right now. This is when keeping it real goes wrong. He's in some island off of his bartending money, because he's probably making good money bartending.
Oh yeah, he's like, here's what pastors don't want to tell you.
Yeah, you're in New York City. He's out here. He's halfway good looking, decent looking guy in decent shape. He's probably crushing it on a bartending. Style. Yeah, got good style. A good aesthetic on his Instagram.
Yeah,
keep going.
You can't necessarily have friends in the church a lot of the times. You have brothers in the church, you have people that you could like talk to, but you can't rely on them as a pastor. You can rely on them when you're a small group leader. You can rely on them when you're an elder, a deacon, any other job you're able to maintain certain levels of friendship. But as a pastor, you're held to such a high standard that if you say something or believe something or teach something that somebody in the church does not agree with, they will go and get a group of people and rally against you.
Yeah. He's right.
And try to get you fired.
But the issue is you need to have relationships as a pastor with other pastors and other oversight and other accountability outside of your local church to make sure that you're healthy and you're doing well.
Yes.
So he's right. He's right in that sense. But that's why pastors need pastors.
Yeah. That's also why being a pastor isn't just a degree. It's not a master's in divinity.
That's right.
It's not just head knowledge.
That's right.
There's life experience.
Yes.
There's personality,
shepherd's heart.
like ability to actually connect with people and want to connect with people.
Yep.
So yeah, if you're more of a studious person, smart, but like you're like, I don't want to talk to these people.
Yep.
Not a pastor.
Yep. And I hope he didn't go into debt to get all these degrees, man. I would hope that his parents had some funds for him or something, because that would be super tragic.
Study the Bible for free.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's not just that. It's like, not only are you on the clock, you have to remember every birthday, you have to go to every funeral, every baptism, every baby dedication, have the program.
Hold on. You are the pastor, so you kind of got to be
You
there
are
for
the
the
baby
baptism
dedication.
and the baby dedication.
You are the baby dedication.
Hold on, buddy. Hold on. You lost me there.
That relies on you.
Yeah, I don't know about remembering every birthday.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, if you're gonna be solid, it's helpful.
Yeah.
Automate it with some software. nowadays.
Have people to counsel constantly. It was just so much work. Just that you don't even know who you could truly trust at the end of the day, because there are people that you consider best friends and people they could open up with. And imagine opening up one of like some difficult things you're going with, and eventually they talk crap about you, and it gets around. And as a pastor, you shouldn't be going through quote unquote struggles. You shouldn't be going through these things. And another thing that sucks about working for churches is the politics. It's all politics. I think you're only working for one boss. No, you're not. People think, oh, you're only working for God. That's not necessarily true. You have 1,000 bosses. 1,000 bosses, because it's everybody. Everybody in church is your boss.
I mean, listen, that's no different than being an entrepreneur. Every entrepreneur has to answer to their people.
Yeah.
You got to answer to your constituents. If you're a politician, you got to answer to your constituents. If you're an entrepreneur, you got to answer to your customers. So instead of having one boss that tells you what to do, you got thousands of bosses that are like, we don't like this, we like that, make it this way. Why not this? Why not that? And so it's the same thing that, listen, you don't get out. This is the only way you get out of ever having to like be anywhere or do anything, is to like build so much independent wealth that you can live off the interest of your investments.
Yeah. There's no product that you gotta fulfill on anymore.
Yeah,
You're just like chilling off a back end.
And then we're talking to really get there. And me and Samaje went down this rabbit hole the other day, the FIRE movement, financially independent. What is it? Financially independent, retire early. But you're talking about folks that got millions in retirement and then are living off the interest. And that's the only way to get there. Like, you gotta have enough assets that passively support your lifestyle, and then you don't really got to answer to anybody for any. You could do whatever you want to do, but everything comes with responsibility. You got to answer to somebody. So do you want one bosses? You want 1,000 bosses?
You got to get those millions somehow,
right? You got to get if that's the objective. But I'm not saying that should be the objective. I'm saying if that's the objective.
I posted like a video of me going to Disneyland because number one, I used to work in California, and like, sometimes people message you and be like, "Pastor, are we paying you too much?" So imagine you decide to like take a break for yourself in the moment that you decide to have a little bit of fun, post it on your Instagram story, and then immediately they're like, "Are we paying you too much?" Like, you're not allowed to have fun without being guilted for it. So you're guilted.
That's crazy.
That sucks.
He said, "Forget that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go serve the party scene."
Yeah, I'm so happy. Like, when our pastor takes vacations and is like consistent.
No one bats an eye.
No one bats an eye.
Actually, as far as we know.
As far as we know, shout out Pastor Jeff, man. Rhythm Church consistently prioritizes his family, goes on vacation, makes sure that he's refreshed, and I think that's healthy, and I think we need more of that.
Imagine being worried about paying your pastor too much and not being worried about creating an environment in which your pastor can thrive and not have a moral failure. Hello,
come on,
like. Take your sabbaticals.
Go. Please
take
go.
Take care of yourself. Dog.
Please go. Yeah. Go take care of yourself. Take care of your family. Love your family. Get out of here.
For real.
Yeah. Go ahead and play some more of this.
For even living life. Respect from a pastor is you being like a scullery maid that's chained to like a basement or something, that's a slave to everybody. They to be a servant leader, but the issue is a lot of church members have an expectation of you being a slave leader. Meaning you have to go and listen and be obedient to every single whim of every member, no matter how wrong they are.
Yeah, that's
the
not
worst
good.
part is the people that have the money are sometimes the most powerful, especially in small churches. It's those big families in the small churches that help set things up from the beginning. They're the ones that have the true power.
Jeez.
And pastors not necessarily don't always have the most power in church.
That's true.
I guess contrary to popular belief. We really
That's true.
don't.
He's right. That's good. Let's look at some of these comments.
This man was just,
Yeah, he had a lot on his chest, bro.
Yeah.
This brother, man. Hey, man.
you know, he was bringing that up to random customers at the
Yeah.
bar. He's like, "Did you know that being a pastor is not as easy as it looks?" Like,
Well, let's see some
Another
comments. So, Dizzy Disciple, who I follow on Instagram, said, "So you thought being a pastor would be cool and decided to get degrees to make it happen. Once you found out it's not as easy, you bounced. I'm not hating. I'm actually glad you're not in the pulpit. More fake pastors, ouch, should do that." What are the comments to this?
Aggressive.
Did anybody respond to Dizzy? Definitely, but being a pastor is definitely a calling. Yeah, I mean, being a pastor is a calling, and it's not one that's easy. But that doesn't mean that his gripes aren't legitimate. Those are very legitimate gripes that he pointed out. You know what I mean? Unless you are a pastor, it is almost impossible to understand what he's describing. That's fair. Yes, pastors are called by God, and yes, we can only do the work of the Holy Spirit, but we have a corrupted, broken human system that is more often than not controlled by powerful individuals who may not be truly serving God. Do you quit it like a regular job? Like 2 weeks notice? That's funny. Don't let religious people. Yeah. Hey, listen.
that's a great wave.
Props to this dude for still being a Christian and walking with Jesus and leaning into his faith and sharing this sort of stuff. I wish and I believe there will be more outlets for people who are passionate about ministry that can do things like podcast, YouTube, social media, write books, create systems and courses for people. Hopefully that's a future. Seems to be like there's more outlets. I don't know how scalable that is, but there seems to be there's a lot of people out here that could do a lot of good with their education.
Yeah.
And maybe that channels him or someone like him to hopefully do something different than just be a regular pastor, if you will.
I will say from a career trajectory standpoint, very valuable lesson. Really easy to go talk to a pastor before you do the whole master's in divinity whole thing. Like that, like in general, if you want to become an electrician, go hang out with an electrician. Go find one. Plumber, same thing. Wall Street, go find one.
Yep.
So whatever it is, go find one, talk to them,
Yeah.
figure out if you even like that idea
Yep.
before you go down the path of degrees and
Yeah.
student loans.
That's right. 100% spot on. Okay. Shout out to Javier. He said, "Can you be in full-time ministry in 2024? It costs like 150K to own a home in Cali. Most church staff I've seen, they pay like 5 to 6K a month for assistant pastors. I don't know a person who lives from that." Yeah. So yeah, I mean, to own enough to have a home in Southern California, you would have to be a lead pastor. There's just no other way around it. I think you're right. And the unfortunate part is then you attract a lot of people that are using the ministry position as a stepping stone to eventually become lead pastors. So then does the culture have to change where we pay pastors more? The flip side to that is that weird where you have a church where multiple pastors are earning in the hundreds of thousands of dollars so they can afford to buy homes, send their kids to school, and the church is all struggling and making 50, 60K a year. That's an individual question for each congregation and each church culture. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, and also like dual income households.
Sure.
So if one spouse is working at the church, one's probably not, and then not taxed. So there's that.
That is true. So that is the part that people forget is that pastors can claim up to 50% of their income as a housing allowance, and that is completely non-taxed. So there is the possibility for,
and in most cases, that means you're not paying anything.
Yeah.
It's only
yes, because then so let's just say you're making $100,000 a year as a pastor, only 50,000 of that is getting taxed when you factor in the dependents to kids, so on and so forth. That you're not paying any taxes at all, basically, right? Or you're not paying any income taxes. So that is a perk. And when I was on staff at a church, I got that perk, even though I technically wasn't ordained as a pastor.
and they took it away, and that's when you quit.
And they took it away, and that's when I quit. Because I'm like, wait a minute, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing? That was like I'll take less money because I get this incentive to
Exactly,
be clergy. Hey, thank you so much for checking out the video. Comment down below and let me know what you think. And be sure to check out this video that YouTube is recommending just for you. Let me know if they nailed it. All right? I'll see you over there. Peace.